September Run drives through and Coolangatta, then Ballanipatina. Coolangatta in the centre lifts. Coolangatta in front of Ballanipatina. I Wish I Win late. Coolangatta announces herself and wins it from I Wish I Win.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host Scoot, and I've got Walt. He's running late, or it's an afternoon show now. How are you? Angry.
Why am I running late? You work on my time.
20 minutes late, so we've just been picking our nose here, and Nico and I have talked about a couple of the Melbourne and Sydney, and just said how hard it is. So we might just pull the pin on the show. Too hard.
Sounds good to me. Let's go. All right.
DK's a late scratching. Unfortunately, he's got a death in the family, so condolences to him. But we'll see him next week, hopefully. Let's talk quickly about last week. Zach Attack in Sydney. Walt's BFF, Reign Supreme, Artorias, Communist. They just go for him, don't they, Zach?
Yeah, Artorias was weird, wasn't it? Jeez, it went well. Yeah, very, very strange. The Communist was just ridden a bit quieter, which helped it. But, Zach Attack. A bit stiff in the last, wasn't he? Well, he was a bit lucky to stay on, probably, but he was a bit stiff in the last too. Yeah, Tycoon Evie, have you seen the form of it before?
I'm familiar with that horse.
You're familiar with that horse? Yeah. No, they went well for Zach on Saturday. It'll be interesting to see whether they bring him off the bench for J-Mac next week. I don't know if he's already coming back or if he can come back or whatever, but I'm assuming that if he's not, he will be the target for most of those J-Mac rides.
Outstanding stuff. Yeah. The Tycoon Evie was a bet for our syndicate, so we're starting to get a bit of momentum there. Donnie's on fire. Nico's saying all right. Everyone's going okay. Bagman's been up and about. I think he backed about 8 seconds in a row. Now he can't stop backing winners, which is good. And I just keep having Zach moments and horses fall off, and Zach Lloyd just careering into me after getting good prices. So
you're saying the syndicate was building momentum until it got poleaxed by Zach?
Donnie's found one today, $9 into, I think, 380 as well. So make sure you check out Little Birdie Syndicate if you need a little bit of help. I think everyone needs as much help as they can this weekend. Nico, how are you, mate?
Good, boys. Yeah, managed to get a result out of Sounddown yesterday, so we're coming in here nice and fresh, but Flemington looks tough, and I don't know, Rosehill doesn't look much easier, so could be a weekend where it's scouting a bit wider to find a few bets. Maybe Eden Hope and those sort of joints might be where we're looking.
Lucky we've got Donnie, mate. Donnie will be looking at Broken Hill, so if there's something to be found wide, he's probably the man.
Hopefully the slipper picture will become clearer. You got a couple of lead-ups this week. We'll talk quickly. Cylinder, Learning to Fly, King's Gambit. It's funny, everyone's like gushing about the King's Gambit trial during the week. A trial behind Cylinder its last start at the races. Like, wake up and smell the coffee. It just feels like we're a couple of weeks in front of the masses out there at Sky Channel and Co.
I thought I might get the phone call. I think I whacked up something about, geez, it goes better without the handbrake on. After the trial, and I was waiting for the call from somebody to tell me to take it down, but they didn't, which is good. There's less filtering is good, but
you're allowed to say whatever you like now, aren't you?
Well, you're allowed to, but it's still, people get upset.
Do they tap you on the shoulders?
People get angry.
New South Wales.
Oh, not just them. I upset a lot of people. Apparently, I don't know. Just
Joe Pride.
A lot of the time, not even with opening my mouth, I can upset people. It's just a talent, but. The barrier draw looks all important, doesn't it? It looks like it's going to be a full field of reasonably similar level quality horses, maybe Cylinder and Learn to Fly, and they'd have a slight edge if they have the right running transit, but it looks like a pretty open year. Don Corleone coming back up. I don't know what Steel City will do this week. I don't know how they found Reggie from Gate 1. That'll be interesting, and he's got off Gaze to ride it. I don't know. Nico's horse, we'll talk about it, but... I don't think this week really looks too exciting for adding spice to it, but you never know.
And do you concede that the Melbourne Guineas was stronger than the Sydney edition?
Nah, they were both crap.
Were they?
They were both crap. I think the Sydney ones, if you average them out, it's probably a stronger race. Maybe one or two in Melbourne were okay, but really it was pretty bad. Both of them weren't everything Jacquino did wrong and sort of got close and.
Lagatu
sort of
win,
upheld. Yeah, he's probably potentially the best horse, but we haven't seen sort of too many New Zealanders coming out and being dominant here, which sort of takes away from the strength of it as well. And, I think Af Cabin was given the best ride I've ever seen and still gone at the 200, so there wasn't much depth in the Sydney race either. Lindemann sort of come out from a ratings race and and held on for third. Yeah, it's just all the other forms pretty average.
Tell you what, there is a good Kiwi going around. It's called I Wish I Win. It's last time I checked, its brands from New Zealand.
Did it win first up?
Huh?
No.
Ugh.
It's dead to me.
Tell you what, one first up, one of yours, Nico. You would have, I don't know what you were eating on track, but nonconformist, Beggy.
Yeah, that was a big win, wasn't it? Just like charging from the back. Yeah, it was sort of.
What does
not
that
taken,
mean? What does that win mean? Like, it dead set gapped him, ran away from him like it was Winks. Like, what the heck is that form?
Tavalu's got a lung infection.
Oh, yeah. Well, sorry.
So
That makes it all the better.
Well, there's an explanation for one
of them. Yeah.
And then Gentleman Roy probably went too quick out in front, and then it was just left to him to sort of pick up the pieces. I think he's maybe one of the only other horses in the race that had that sort of ability that could do that. So there was a few good runs in behind him from stayers, but if he can replicate that performance, all the data I sort of look at suggests he's probably somewhere near his best off that run. And if he's taken that into the Australian Cup, he's probably hard to beat, especially if nothing backs up from the All-Star Mile. So it was good to see. He's always been one of mine. I didn't sort of catch him on Saturday, but I did see he was well back late. He was like 20s into 16s, I think, and good to see Harry Coffey get a big winner there.
Outstanding. I think there's a bit of an excuse for Gentleman Roy. Two things. I think he was coming off an issue, and I just don't know if for miles he's go at all. So I think he's more of a 1,400 metres.
They got a full field for the All-Star Mile, or are they still trying to pluck horses off the street?
Tell you what.
I think we need another one off the street. Hopefully something tonight at Pakenham might jump out for him, or
something in blue colours. Like a blue colours first starter, something. Yeah.
Well, we got Cascadian in because Fangirl said, no, we're going to go to the rider.
Cascadian.
And then Cascadian gets into the All-Star Mile, and then Anamo's like, oh, we're going to go the rider as well. So that seems like a big miss for Fangirl to take on Anamo again, but
we should have probably arguably could have beaten him last start with a better ride.
The smelly 2 weeks out decision does have a bit of New South Wales versus Vic feel about it, doesn't it? The Fangirl pull out. It's a weird one. I don't know. You think it's a bit of a no-brainer to run in that race?
Speaking of New South Wales, this all sort of ties in. There's Strappergate. There's a little graphic on the screen, and there was an article in the Fin Review from Look
at that photo
from Joe Aston, and what's happened in a nutshell, there's a New South Wales strapper only, what do you call it, scheme they call it, where they can get 1.5 to, I think it's up to 2% of the owner's prize money pays for this strapper bonus. But what's happened is, in the past, you have to be a New South Wales strapper to get the be a beneficiary of the scheme until I guess some of the participants from Victoria got wind of it, and Jay Munns, who's a prolific owner, he races Giga Kick, and he's got the white and red stripes. He kicked up, and then all of a sudden Mr. Volantes decided that he'd honour the 122k payday to the strapper, which I think the strappers deserve it. Gee, it's a lottery ticket for them as well. Strappers are usually on the bones of their backsides.
We've still got to pass tests to be eligible for it. It's not just the strapper gets it automatically. You've also got to pass tests. So if you fail the test, then you don't get it. Then it goes to the mystery fund. But
what are the tests?
What is that? It's not easy. I know a lot of people, and the fund itself. So how they say it goes if you don't get it, and all the funds that aren't eligible go to the group fund. To get help from that, they say it's brutally difficult. It's not it's not good. It's not good. So it's tough. But I think Munn's basically threatened a bit of media presence if he didn't honour that payment, and obviously no bad publicity wanted around that race in particular, and now it's gone viral, which
well, it's just crazy. So then Mr. Brightside's strapper, it's got nothing, and that could be up to 27,000. And then it's a funny one. And then now I think the same connections, Munns and I think Beggy, are starting to kick up for passive aggressive.
Well, so, if you think it'd be a gimme, they'd have to pay them. They just have to. If they've set precedent,
they'll have to
once,
pay
twice, 3, 4, 5. So exactly. Anyone who basically, I saw Joe O'Neill in that same article said he's come back from, it was 2 or 3 years ago, saying he actually inquired and got knocked back. What's the difference? So now you're going to have people coming out of the woodwork.
Well, so how big would the bill going backwards be? Because I tell you what, the VF's been pretty strong.
Mate, that money would have gone into the fund. It would have been distributed to people that really need it.
Where is it?
Who knows?
I tell you what, this is...
Can I ask you a question, though? I'm not a big fisherman, but if you go back to that photo, which I probably won't, what sort of hook would you use? Like a jig or one of those...
One of those metal ones.
Yeah.
Big one. Big shiny one. I tell you what, it's probably it's a great thing that they introduced it as a starting point, but something that's meant to be super positive, this is so bad. I remember when I was 21, I used to be a strapper and I had absolutely no Arthur Ashe, and something like this, like a shot in the bum like this for 27 grand, 120 grand, that would be pretty handy for those guys, and they do an absolute cracking job. And gee, it's just the carrot, and it'll get you out of bed every morning. Just a little bit of hope that you can sort of kick one day.
Even transparency for the whole thing. Like, who's paying it? Well, punters are paying the prize money. Owners are the ones who are having this subtracted from their share of the prize money.
Yeah.
And there's no transparency. Like, how would anyone know it? Like, try and find out the rules to get it. It's very difficult. And then you got horse welfare getting, I don't know what percentage these days. Where's the transparency about that? You hear the same thing, that it's nearly impossible to get a horse into the system. It's a bit weird. It's just a bit weird. Like you say, it should all be positive. Everyone agrees upon, this is a good cause. We'll take a percentage that goes towards it, but
pretty scary when you got someone that sounds like they're ruling by decree, playing God. All right, you can have the money. You're not allowed to have the money willy-nilly. Sounds like they need to audit everything up in New South Wales and see what else they uncover. Because
at the end of the day, why should it be his responsibility? He's got a big job. He's got to maintain the whole of racing. Why is it his responsibility to say yes or no to a Strappers bonus on a race-by-race basis? Obviously, Everest, it's 122 grand, fair enough. But why is he even ruling over these decisions? Why is he talking to head stewards about tracks that day that we had the drama where just right away from the inside, everybody agreed to right away? It's there's just it's a bit. Also, there's one person controlling too many people's destiny.
It's crazy. And then now rugby league season's back. Yeah, I don't know how he's got time to fix this either. But
he doesn't. That's the main reason why it's silly for one person to have this much control. He just can't be across everything.
Good to see Paul Tatnell picked up a story from racing.com. And as usual, radio silence and crickets, I haven't seen, maybe Adam Pengelly might run with it a bit, but sounds like there's a full audit required for that one. We'll give you any updates.
And it's really, at the end of the day, it's a nothing thing. Like, it's a silly thing, but it's just another chip away at it, isn't it? You just keep chipping. Everything you see is just everything's difficult. People being.
So it's a loose thread. Maybe if you pull the ball of wool, who knows what else you'd find. Anyway, we probably need to be a bit more happy here. And the Comics Land's an absolute beauty. Another person, I'd love to get Friendly Geordies onto the case at Racing New South Wales. He's got some shows. 2nd to the 8th down in Melbourne at the Comics Land, our new sponsor. So you can see the logo if you're watching the show. Just over my shoulder there and down below there. So make sure you check out the Comics Lounge.
Free helmet with every ticket to that joint for the Geordies or whatever, isn't it? Free helmet, isn't it? A free bomb vest and a helmet.
Yeah, I've heard some crazy stories. He's very divisive, this guy, Friendly Geordies, but he's worth a look. Have a look at him on YouTube. And some of the stuff that he uncovers is absolutely outstanding. He'd be able to sniff out a audit at New South Wales if there's any there. Today's show is going to be a beauty. His Don is very, very, very good. Jeez, he pulled the trigger Depot last week, smashed Adam Campton. We talked about it. Stormed down the outside, won easily, and he's just firing shots everywhere. And horses that he's liking are going off deluxe. So if you want some of his provincial action or Brizzy action or just Donny's action out wide, make sure you jump into the Little Birdie Syndicate. So.
How about that bet he had at Dolby, where we're nearly run off the track by the riderless horse? Where were we 4 units at $2 or something, and the riderless horse is nearly taking us out late. That was one for the thrill seekers.
Dolby.
So it's not a miracle that we're winning in the Little Birdie Syndicate, but I tell you what, I think all the bad luck's out of the way. Some of the stuff that's happened to us over the last couple of months, if we've mentally survived that, it should be smooth sailing from here on in. But then again, Zach nearly gets zacked by Zach.
It's all right because delay was a better result for the family. Maybe not the syndicate family, but the extended family, the red-headed family. So that's the main thing.
We'll be right. All right. John, you got Rosehill this week. Group 1 Coolmore Classic.
Can't wait, really.
I'll tell you what, there's some bloody dual noms everywhere, and there's all these.
Well, you got Kembla Friday, and then they got all those the Phillies race or whatever. So there's
Kewney,
a lot of dual noms.
Melbourne.
You got Melbourne.
Coolmore
then
Classic, the Far Lap.
Canberra, Black Opal Sunday, a lot of dual noms there. It's always that sort of weekend. And then,
Juicy fruited. The pattern is absolutely cooked.
yeah, Monday will be the same. There'll be jewels there too.
They need someone to fix it. Nico, Flemington, what's this I hear on your show about this? You're sort of starting to neg and grey yourself up about Flemington, bit of a hoodoo. It's punter's paradise. Everyone gets their chance. You get big old winners. They win from everywhere. Even Ollie doesn't get held up at Flemington, does he?
I think that's what makes it hard. There's every horse is in the race. Like everything has a chance. You go to Caulfield or Moonee Valley, there's certain horses that just have no chance of winning there due to their maps or their patterns of race day or bias on the day, whereas Flemington, everyone seems to get their crack. I wouldn't be shocked if Saturday the fence was a bit off again. The fence was a bit off last Saturday, so just with the potential irrigation they're going to have to put on the track again, I'd probably be looking for horses that can come down the middle. But yeah, I find it a really tough track. We managed to get out with Sessions Road in the last week, but I think that's just evident of the results. There's a lot of horses last week that are sort of that between that $6 and $12 range that are kind of winning, and I think it's just because everything gets their chance. If you've got enough ability, which a lot of these horses do, you can win the race.
TopSport Seaman is going to come up a little bit later. Last week, terrible. There's interesting bets this week, so I think they'll turn it around. If you think Flemington's a little bit tricky, you can bet top 2, 3, 4 at TopSport, new app, easy, download it, refresh it. If you haven't given it a spin for a while, make sure you definitely check out TopSport. Tell you what, then the Rugby League and AFL's back. Spoke to Tristan. How was the Dolphins? And what an upset that was. Anyway, AFL's back next Thursday.
Boys.
They love taking a sports bet as well. So if you want to bet horse racing, sport, TopSport are the go-to. Rail 4 Flemington on Saturday, Nico. Inside a little bit chopped out. Not the place to be last week. What does Rail 4 mean?
I think the same. I think the wider lanes could be in play. I think definitely down the straight, you probably maybe looking for the horses that are coming down the outside, especially in the Newmarket. So, I think probably a slight advantage to maybe those off the fence. Maybe the running line might be the place to be. But we'll sort of wait and see, I suppose.
All right, first race we're going to have a look at market only, and there'll be deductions here, perhaps a lot of dual noms, actually. Market's just refreshed. There's Pavrita's come out, which is handy, but Shuffle Dance is now the favourite, 320, Revolutionary Miss 440, Wollombi 6, Papillion Club 7, Wolverine, and then 750 Rosetta 10, Nunthorpe 18, Eternal Flame 21, Amadi 21. Colliding form lines here. Shuffle Dancer up too long. Revolutionary Miss, will it get a clear run? Wollombi gets a rider upgrade. Ollie off. It's Clippo on. Papillion Club, Wolverine. It's probably D-Day for Wolverine now or never. Rosetta thought didn't quite hit the line or run through the line pretty strongly. Nunthorpe, jury out after that last one. Eternal Flame was an interesting one. I thought $21 looks a bit of a spoil. Nico, thoughts? And then Walt might put through his Sydney form filter.
Yeah, it's a bit of a Sydney form race. I think you want to find the Sydney form here. Your Revolutionary Miss and Wolverine coming out of the Group 1 last start. Shuffle Dancer's flying, but I think that race last start might have suited her a bit, just the way they went so early and she just sort of dashed up. This race is a bit more of a genuine tempo, 1,600 metres. I think maybe Revolutionary Miss and Wolverine could potentially have a bit of a platform. Wolverine, I think if she got back to her best of what we saw in the spring, I think she ran third in the T-Rows behind Zagotcha. If she got back to that sort of level, she'd be really in a race like this. From barrier 10, she might get the right sort of run sitting out the back and having the last crack at them. She wasn't that far off Revolutionary Miss last time. I thought if you get sort of, they went up 10s, they're into 750, but she's been jumping around sort of 850, 750. So if you get closer to 10s on the day, that would probably interest me. Revolutionary Miss probably on top from her, and then Shuffle Dancer. Wollombi is definitely in the race off her last start figure, but I think the Sydney form, or just the Sydney horses, even Wollombi ran in Victoria last start, but I would be expecting they can beat Shuffle Dancer here. She looks a bit vulnerable.
It's in 7 joints sold, Wolverine, but it's the only place with a rider, Melbourne. So one would assume that's where it's heading.
It's an interesting one. I sort of had Wolverine pegged as maybe 1,100, 1,200 sort of squibbish type horse. I'm not sure it's looking for a mile. There's a couple here that are a query at 1,600 for mine. Yeah,
well, Revolutionary Miss would be fitting in that category too.
Scary.
It was a better run the other day, Wolverine. I thought it was just cactus, to be honest. And then I just don't know what to make of all that form, because Rosetta, the horse that scratched, was similar. There was a few horses that finished close up and they've been running well in those fillies races that makes it grey on how deep the form is in those races. So I wouldn't be scared to to find a local that looked like it was going to run a strong mile for sure, if that exists. If not, like let's just say like Wallenby, one of my favourite horses, but it's dead set. Like it's a Saturday horse. It's not a genuine sort of Group 2 horse. You wouldn't think usually. So it's a very grey race for mine.
Free bet, I'd probably bet the 9. I reckon Eternal Flame, and then just give the whole race a brush. I'm petrified. Revolutionary Miss and Rosetta, they just weren't. Really
Rosetta's
strong.
still in. So Pavitra's the one that's come out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rosetta actually has run really well at both its runs back and beaten 5 or 6. So I'd rather back it than Wolverine personally.
All right, we'll skip forward to the size produce. Race number 4, V8 is $3.40. Dabadenko $4.60, Ganbare $7, Freak of Nature $9, Sassy Boom $9, Vista Fury $10, Amore $16, Tom Kitten $17, Porterossa $21, Alonso $31, and then you can get much better the rest. Nico, shock me. Tom Kitten you found here, and it's in the Godolphin Blue, and I don't owe you a Duna cover, so I'm sitting pretty. But tell us why you like Tom Kitty.
Yeah, AFCAB had no good last week. I just thought this run was a run of a horse, maybe looking for 1,400 metres. On debut, he led over 1,000, and he was just pretty pox there behind VC. He did start favourite, though, and then this run, he went to Sydney, he got up to 1,300 metres, and Nash has just thrown him over the line here. This second horse, Make a Call, was right on the heels of Gambare, the next start, so I think that form all sort of ties in. I think in a bigger field here from barrier number 6, a horse who looks like he's going to be, running out a strong 1,400 off that, I would have thought. I think Blake Shin can get him in the right spot from 6. There's not a lot of speed in this race. I think V8 and probably Sassy Boom are your two that may take up the lead. So, he's going to have to probably run down the favourite. But just with those form tie-ins, he's had the run at Flemington. He's obviously travelled well before going up to Sydney. He's 29 days between runs, which I kind of like with a horse like this. He seems a bit fresher. He's not sort of beaten up or anything like that, and I think he does have some ability. So just with the right run, I thought he might be able to be a horse that could hit the place sort of frame, maybe play some exotics around him. I just thought the favourite was probably a little hard to line up for me. Like, he hasn't smashed the clock on debut at Pakenham V8. It was a very good win. He won by 6. The horse he beat, Apula, came out and got beat by 2.5 by Freak of Nature, so you can sort of tie all that form in, but he's on the 11th quickest time with a meeting, 22nd quickest last 400. I think he may have just beat some average horses. I can definitely see the case here if you're wanting to be sort of chips in thinking, he's just the best horse in this race of what we saw on debut. I just didn't know if I could be sort of betting up at that price. Jubanenko was good in the Blue Diamond, but she's going to get a long way back here. Gambare, I think his form is very similar to Tom Kitten off their last run, given Make a Call was right on his heels and Tom Kitten's double the price. So I thought there was a few angles to this race. I thought maybe Freak of Nature and Tom Kitten are two that are probably over the odds. Freak of Nature won in good time on debut, beating Fist of Fury. That form seems okay. I thought you could probably make a good case of him at $9 and maybe have something each way on Tom Kitten at 17. On a really tough day, I thought I could probably come out and tip a few favourites that look a bit chinky anyway. I thought we might just tip something at a bit of value, and if it gets beat, it gets beat. Not a whole lot of confidence, but I thought he might be able to run us a race at odds.
I didn't mind the winner, Freak of Nature, on debut. Overcame a bit of traffic there, and if he can run on from barrier 12, I thought he'd definitely be a bet at $9.
Yeah, I thought he'd be more like second pick in this market. Like, he's ran very similar figures to the favourite on debut. He hasn't done anything relative to the clock late in the day, but it was a fast run race. He looks like a horse who wants 1,400. I was kind of surprised he went up $9. I thought he'd be more like second or third pick, so you could definitely make a good case for him.
I was hoping we'd see Cott change of tactics for Ganbare.
Ability on. It's not much good, is it?
Yeah,
its first start was all right. Second start was better.
Was it
Ridden
just
back
gone?
than the other day. I don't know. The horses are
anymore?
flying, but I don't know what this horse is. I don't know. I think it's an ex-prep horse. I couldn't back it yet.
Done, you think?
No, you're Freak of Nature. I like it. I think Ico's found the right horse value-wise. It's just a silly price. In an average race.
Tom
The favourites can win for sure, but they're the three. I think that you found the right ones.
Dabidenko, 1,400.
Yeah, it's short enough. Yeah, it's way too short.
Yeah, so we might play outside the market there. Freak of Nature and Tom Kitten. Oh, at least we agree on something.
We agree to agree.
DK's not here, is he?
That's what it is, the cloud.
We missed
Declare.
DK already. Flemington Race 7, Newmarket Handicap, 1,200 metres. I wish I win $4 in secret 420. Private Eye, $7.50. Private Eye. Private Eye just won you
Is this a Sydney race?
a trip to the US Masters. $4 I wish I win in secret 420. Private Eye, $7.50. Lofty Strike, $8.50. Bonus Notches, $10. Bella Nipotina, $16. Marzu, $17. Star Patrol, $19. Front Page, $20. Chain of Lightning, $21. And Horse Like September Run, 26. Rock and Horse, 31. Baller, 34. Then Astrologist, what's that? Snapper, round out the field. All right, we're going to have a look at 3 different replays and have a chat about them. First one, I wish I win. You've got
sick. Let's watch this replay.
Coolangatta. You got Bonus Notches back there. And then
What's he waiting for?
Hey?
Hang on. What is he waiting for?
Well, he
Just wait.
waited the day
Wait.
that Black Caviar nearly got beaten in Royal Ascot. So
Jesus
He's,
Christ.
he's waiting for this race. This is the grand final.
What's he
I wish I
waiting
win.
for? Like, what was he waiting for?
yeah, as a
11 to 8.50 this day. Huge run.
Oh.
Quickest closing sectionals of the meeting, as you'd probably expect, given how well he hit the line over 1,000 metres. So
Speaking of, there's another one. Lofty Strike all over this horse as well. Charging, Uncommon.
Good race, isn't it?
Oh, actually, no, sorry. This is the Coolmore. This is In Secret, out and gone. And you got Lofty coming down the outside.
yeah, Buenos Noches down the outside. So there's a bit of sort of intertwining form here. This was interesting as a fast run race for In Secret, and she's absolutely killed him there. I would expect this Newmarket's going to be a fast run race early too. So she might find a very similar setup to what she found that day, especially down in the weight. So that's probably her tick. I've heard a lot of people knocking her though. So I wasn't really with her, but I think she's going to find a very similar setup to that day. Just not a soft track.
Like, but head to head, In Secret versus Coolangatta, argument's sake, who held them off there. It's pretty hard to. Like, I'd be backing In Secret to beat Coolangatta in just about any race anywhere. So I can't find a knock for it.
Well, In Secret?
Yeah, like to say that she's not going to measure up to this level is what I mean. With 51 and a half.
I agree. Like, she's got 51 and a half. I haven't not necessarily going to back her on the day. I think 420's skinny enough, but if she wins the race, it's not going to shock me at all. She's obviously got ability. I don't know if she's in the same form this campaign as she was in the spring. Like, she came into that Coolmore win off a freshen up. She had a jump out down the straight. This preparation, don't love how she's been tidy out of the barriers, but she's still, got the job done first up and last start. She's right in the finish. She's only beaten a neck or even shorter than that, I think. So, look, she's going well. 51 and a half is definitely her advantage in a fast run race. Compared to I Wish I Win, who was in a pretty slowly run Lightning. At least she's seen that fast run pressure, but he's seen a fast run race in sort of the Turak and the Golden Eagle, and he ran well. So it's just whether he can sustain it. I suppose Private Eye has definitely got to be in the game. So does Lofty Strike. I don't know if you need to look much further than that. Mizzou might be an okay exotic player, but my sort of thought on the race was maybe default to the best horses, and I think the 2 best horses in the race are Private Eye and I Wish I Win. And I think I Wish I Win off that first up run, being trained as a sprinter. If he can replicate that here, I think he'd probably be winning. So I thought at $4 and $8, you could probably back both.
Draw's got to be well a positive for I Wish I Win compared
Draw's
to
huge
Private Eye.
positive for him. Yeah, Private Eye. It's easy to draw 2 as a back marker though down the straight, like because if it is down the outside and that's where they want to be, he can just flop out of the gates and probably get to the outside rail compared to if he was an on-speed horse. So that may be the play if that's the place to be, but
still not ideal, isn't it? It's not as like Brenton. He's a good jockey, but he hasn't ridden in Melbourne full time for a long time either. It's not. It can't be easy to do that, as in, like flop out from 2 and get to the outside rail down the straight if you're not doing it often.
Where's JP? He
was
the man
when's he on
who did
holidays?
last
He did the big dog. I don't know when he comes back. I was hoping he might spring back for Slipper Day so we could try and pinch all those J-Mac rides, but I'm actually not sure when he gets back from his sabbatical. It can't be too far away.
Snapper and Front Page drawn 4 and 7. I wouldn't be shocked at all if there is a split here, and if a horse like Private Eye does sort of roll the dice a bit and go back to the inside. So, yeah, it could be a fascinating race to watch. I was sort of thinking that I Wish I Win might be the best closer of the stand side, and I Wish I Win's probably the best horse on the flat side. So, I think either way, we're probably a good shout there, but In Secret's definitely in the race. Lofty Strike was huge the other day in the Oakley Plate. He's definitely in the game. I just don't know if he's quite as good as Private Eye and I Wish I Win at their best. But top race, probably the best Newmarket we've seen for a while.
Even Buonis, like that stable rarely has him ready first up, and it went well enough there.
Very good.
Probably needs a couple of favours here, but it's not hopeless, that's for sure, especially with 50 half. And like you said, Marzu stable again, not really flying fresh, but this is probably a target race for them with a horse that's certainly up to it if he's at his best. It's just a great race. I couldn't probably back anything to beat I Wish I Win, like you're saying, but it's a great race.
Easy quality league for me. Only 3 chances. I Wish I Win. I think he could just be that freak factor.
Hang on, what are the other 2? 3 chances.
Yeah, well, Lofty Strike.
Yeah.
He's just going to follow him.
Yeah.
I'd nearly say that Lofty Strike, if he finds his bum, I reckon he can nearly go past him at 52.
What's the third one?
Buenos Noches.
Oh, wow. I thought you were just going to go straight Gary Harley top 3 picks or something.
No, that's it.
It's impressive from you.
I'd be gapping in secret, gapping private eye.
Gapping?
Yep. Just gap him. Leave him out of the quaddie. Just poo-poo.
You could be going to the gap after that race.
No, it looks pretty clear. I think, and historically, I know it's different tracks and all that sort of thing. I think he's got the perfect platform now, Lofty Strike, through the Oakley Plate and the Lightning, and they look the 2 best runs to my eye to run out a really strong 1,200 metres. So that's a very easy race in my opinion. But I did sort of
Hang on, you've had 3 picks.
No, I just sort of have to clear.
You've had 3 picks, and you're saying it's the easiest race you've ever seen.
Well, you're still getting a good price if you back a couple of them. You're allowed to have 2 bets in a race. You do it all the time. You'll probably do it on this show. Will you?
I might change my mind now just to make you look like an idiot.
Hey?
I might change my mind now just to make you look stupid.
Oh, go away. All right. If you want Nico's assessments from the yard, that was what he did nail. The Oakley Plate had good bets on Uncommon James and Lofty Strike. So everyone was kicking their heels when he pushed that through. So it was an easy watch. If you've got his $25 per week pack, you can get it for cheaper if you buy in bulk. So make sure you check that out. Some of Australia's biggest punters subscribe to that, don't they, Walt?
To what?
Nico's stuff. They follow it.
Some of Australia. I saw there was a bit of content.
Yeah. What am I going to do? Just send the client list out to
Are there any left?
Hey?
Are there any big punters left?
You're here.
I'm not a big punter. I'm a dead set turned into a tampon man. I'm gone. You can't bet big.
They might have stepped in yesterday. We backed one, Little Miss Guster. I sent her out, and I think she was about $11.
Bang.
Then by the time the race jumped, she was about $6.50. So maybe they stepped in there. I don't know, but maybe we just sort of lined up with a few people there. But I thought, we'll get something out of the place and something to win. And I was just chasing this place price. It just kept tumbling in. So didn't handle that one too well.
Nico could be working for Jelko. You'll never know.
I make them firm at Quarindai, mate. That's where I make them firm. Quarindai.
Puntingform.com.au is a weapon that I use and Nico absolutely loves. So make sure you check out puntingform.com.au. Sugar Shane will give you a tutorial, and there's some good info there. If you want to improve your punting, take it to the next step. So they're not all dying pro punters. Still got the NBLs. There's still a way to make some cash.
Don't NBLs, like seriously.
You can get on.
NBLs. Oh, NBLs.
Hey?
You can get on 140% to win 500. Well done. Very good.
Maybe that's what they overlook when they said, let's compare figures with Caulfield and Sandown. Do they take into account that the over round's actually like poor and awful now?
They don't take anything into account that makes them look bad publicly.
That could be a real big reason why turnover's down, is because they used to bet 112, 114%, and now you're sitting at 119. So surely that's going to affect turnover.
Big innovation. Percentage. We're going to make a big pool at 5% higher.
Just because you've got
drop the prices.
Just because you've got 80 bookmakers online doesn't mean that all of a sudden it's going to increase turnover.
They're not bookmakers. You got 80 poker machines. You got 80 poker machines online.
I backed a horse yesterday. I had one bet on it, $31. Didn't move the price, knocked it back. Then put 2 more bets through. Finally, took the bets. Then still didn't move the price. Like, what are they doing? They're not even traders. They're not bookies. I don't know what they are.
Poker machines.
They're just disgraceful. Like, if you're going to intercept someone's bet, turn the price off. Or take the bet and move it and move the market and stimulate the market. It's just the weakest behaviour ever.
That's right. Like he's just saying, NBLs, like you say, everyone can make a mistake, but when they're hiding behind 130 plus until there's 3 minutes to go, it's a poker machine.
Yeah. I can't cop that. Fair enough. Bet to minimum bet laws or give us a bet, but turn the price off and like do something with the market. Like have a crack, especially in like a big race. Like It absolutely
They're
grinds on.
telemarketers more than they are bookmakers.
Let's talk about Rosehill. I had a look at the weather. Looks like it's going to be good there in Sydney.
I thought you were predicting monsoons against Chris Waller Racing the other day, mate. You're worrying about their, or was it next week?
Last week.
No, Fangirl.
Last week.
No, Fangirl going to the All-Star Mile. You're saying, what if it's a monsoon or something?
Yeah, but last week you texted me and said it's a 22 mils hit Randwick and then
okay. You're worrying that it's going to repeat.
Well, next week
I'm trying to interpret your lack of English-speaking ability.
What are you talking about? Have you done the weather forecast for this Saturday? Is good.
Yeah, but you don't want it too good because then they start watering it. So you want like the threat of 5 to 10 that doesn't arrive, so they don't water the track.
What did you see Peter Lawrence's tweet about the route system and
no?
And gee whiz, there's some deep thinkers in racing.
Are the routes vaccinated?
Probably.
No.
Rosehill, how's it going to play?
Oh, Rail True to play pretty fair. The drier, the better the inside will be. They'll probably get 3 or 4 off in the straight. Inside the run will be all right, as long as they don't water it.
Race 2, Pago Stakes. Is that how you say it?
Someone's like Pango.
There's no end.
Where do you get an N there? What's that? Like, yeah, I've never called it anything but I'm not very, I'm borderline illiterate, so don't ask me.
Maharaba, Nico's horse, 350 favourite, introducing 370. Shinzu, $5 Zulfika. Nico's horse, 750, bases loaded, $10 Godzilla, 14. How do you say this next one? Gustissimo. Nico, $21, Disneck, 26.
Definitely not Gustissimo.
Lego Lass, $34, Cap Ferrat, $41, Limburg, 51, Idana, and Bolden Blazon out the gate. Let's have a look at a couple of replays here. Blue Diamonds, Zulfika.
So they went really quick here. Zulfika's in the white cap, Godolphin blue, Nico blue, heading the outside brigade up there. Just a big run considering it was 1,000 to 1,200 this day and was the first horse exposed with no cover wide on a fast tempo. The sort of leaders did battle on okay, but it battles on as well as them for mine, all things considered. It's got the 1,200 metre run under the belt following this, so a decent platform compared to most heading into this race.
Okay, bases loaded here.
Similar, so it's on the fence, Gay Waterhouse. Inside was not great, so it gets off. Xing Zhou is also in this race, sort of goes back towards the inside here. They went out quick. They did come home only fair, and it was a bit of a grinding win, so it was probably the run of a horse that you'd wanted to see sort of going to 1,400 potentially and dominating, but they put the blinkers on here, and soft draw, I think they'll probably send the stablemate out introducing to lead, which has got the 1,000 metre form, and bases loaded could just sit just off them here with the blinkers, and I think they could go pretty quick, and strength may be what is required, and bases loaded certainly has that. Can we talk about the race now or just those things? So, yeah, that's my line of thinking here. 2 strong 1,200 metre runs under their belt, these 2 horses. I think it needs a bit of luck, the blue colours, Zulfikar, just to come across. And if Legless, definitely Legless, comes across and gives it cover, which looks, pretty much guaranteed. And Shinzo will probably try and head forward too. They're drawn directly outside it. So I can see it lobbing 4th, 5th with cover in a similar position, 2 bases loaded, and I just think they'll stalk the speed and both can be strong. I'm not Mahaba. Gate 1 is the issue for it. Coming back to Sydney, obviously went okay down there the other day, but I'm not sure how deep that race was. Think it's short enough for sure. And introducing has to do the 1,000 to 1,200. The horse that beat it came out and got beat yesterday in the midweek. So I think it's short enough, even though it trialled really well against Platinum Jubilee and won well. The stable's flying. I think the 2 strong stalkers are the way to go here at decent odds. What are they? $8.50, $10 or $11, something like that.
Mm.
That's the 2-horse play. I don't go 3. I just go 2.
I said there's 3 winning chances, and then I'd wanted to back 2. So, Nico.
Never let the truth spoil a good story, Nick.
I haven't had a good look at sort of any of the trial horses. Looking at the market doesn't look like they're in play, but I did like Introducing's win on debut. Like it was a win of a horse who has a lot of ability, laying out in the straight and still getting the job done. B Preble seems to be the man at the moment for Gay Bot, especially on these 2-year-olds.
Settle down, brother. Settle down.
Striking at 30%. He's had 31 cracks for 9 wins, and their profit on turnover is 75%. So they want to find him.
I think he's had 8 rides in those go-go gadget colours for 7 wins yellow. Or something, isn't he? I think it's something crazy. He even got journalism home yesterday, which is not an easy job. He's certainly popular with, what's his name, Sir Owen Glenn at the moment.
Do go on, Nico.
Yeah, go on, Nico.
Oh, that's about all I had to say. Like Solfico, I think he didn't have a great run in the Blue Diamond, probably had one of the worst runs. I thought he was going to be more like where he's talking about exploring was, who battled on well. I think if he probably had that run, he's in the finish, but he just probably doesn't have a real killer punch, does he? He's just got to outgrind his rivals, which could happen here. Maharaba's got some good form around him sort of early days around Barber, which ties in, but last start, I think that form's probably a bit questionable, what he beat, but there's no doubt he has some talent. Shinzo kind of gave himself up there for mine last start. He probably knows in the inferior ground, but he didn't do much late, so yeah. Can see the love for the two 1,200-metre horses.
Both of them have to win by default. I doubt that they're going to be the best horse in the race, and probably both of them need a little bit further to be in their sort of best position. But, by default at 10-1. That's what we're hoping for.
Race 4, we're just going to have a look at the market only for the Magic Night. 2-year-olds are all... everyone's
sprung this on me, haven't you?
Well, it's a slipper. So this may or may not affect the slipper. Steel City, still looking for a way to get out of there in their Blue Diamond. $3.20. Blanc de Blanc had a few chances now. $3.80. 2 Qui Santosa. $6.50. Remedies, $8. Tis Invincible.
What about that? Drives me insane,
$9. This is a half to Animo. Nico must know a lot about
this.
Does
it come out in half blue colours?
Oh, it's a nice horse. August Bloom, $16. Fire Lane, $20. Empress of Wonder, $26. Untouchable Legend, $26. Madeira Sunrise, $51. And then much better the rest. Nico, Tis Invincible, is this the next love story for you?
Well, his other half is Moko, and she's no superstar, so I don't know, maybe Animo's just a bit of a one-hit wonder for the family.
How many in the family, mate?
I think there's maybe 4.
Is that including you?
No.
Not including you. Well, Blanc de Blanc's probably the horse that's most likely, or Blanc de Blanc is it's most likely to impact slipper markets. I think it is in at Canberra Sunday too, potentially. I think acceptance has come out pretty soon for it, so keep an eye if it sort of pops in there. Maybe from 14 gate, they may head that way, depending on how it draws. I don't think J-Mac's expecting it to go there. He's expecting it to line up at Rosehill, so it'll run well. Steel City, who knows what it would have done in the Blue Diamond from that inside draw. Reggie, gate 1. That may be a headache, but it's probably the other one that's the main influence. The horse down the bottom has trialled really well. Tis Invincible. I just look at the ride. A non-claiming apprentice. Like, what the heck? You're trying to qualify for the slipper, and you got a non-claiming apprentice on a horse having its debut in this race. Like, what is going on?
Does he ride all right, Zach Lloyd?
With 3 kilo claim. Yeah, on a Wednesday. Yeah.
So who would you rather if you had to put one on you?
A jockey.
R King, Z Lloyd.
No, a jockey. I said you didn't listen to my answer. There's plenty of options, but just not a non-claiming apprentice. I understand that they're loyal to he rides a horse, but he's riding Yearning as well. It's just a weird play, and I understand that he can ride light, but he's like really light too. So it's just not. I don't get it. I just don't get it. There's got to be better options.
Are you allowed to claim in the Melbourne Cup?
It had to be a G up, didn't it? But anyway, we won't even touch on that one. Yeah, I don't understand it. There's obviously slim pickings to a certain degree, but this day not really. You've got some lightweights come up from Melbourne, and there's definitely enough seniors to find a jockey to put on this horse. And I just think it's a huge advantage to have an experienced rider, whether he's a talented apprentice or not. He doesn't have the experience of a seasoned rider to ride what looks a really talented 2-year-old on debut in a race that's pivotal to its career potentially.
55.5 kilos. So yeah, fair enough. All right, let's talk about the.
What about number 7?
Oh, hang on.
I thought
is that the gay thing? Oh no,
it trialled huge right at the debut against introducing and Platinum Jubilee.
Tukui Santuza.
Really strong looking thing, isn't it? And interesting to see Reggie jumped off it to ride Steel City. And Reggie sort of just, I think he saw the ride. He rode it upside down to a certain degree. He definitely had to put it out of its comfort zone the first half to put the race away. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it improve significantly.
It didn't look a leader, did it? No. Even off its trials, it sort of sat back and hit the line. I kind of agree. It kind of was ridden a bit upside down. Maybe it takes a sit and strong weight. Yeah,
and a big field. There should be good enough pressure there. I don't think it could lead if it wanted to be honest. So I think they'll sort of have to ride it off speed regardless.
Beautiful. Coolmore Classic Group 1, crack of this, Anavisto, but at MF, topping The market here is $6. Ruthless Dame, $7. Apprentice, Dylan Gibbons, but it's 52.5, so that's the reason there.
And it's an 18-horse field, right?
Just seeing if you're awake. Hope in Your Heart, 750. Hinged, 850. Espiona, 9. She's a Belter, 12. Willy Pike is on that one. He's back. Yearning, Zach Lloyd, 52 kilos, $13. Dead as a doornail first start. Expat, 15.
It's got Lloyd on it. Yes, again. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's another non-claiming apprentice. There's 3 of them in this race.
52 kilos. You have to use the lightweight jockeys.
You don't have to.
Hey? Who can you use?
You can use anyone. You can use any jockey on the planet.
Rachel?
Yeah, she's there. She's on Larkspur Run. If it wins, I'm going to jump through a TV. Keep going.
Expat, 15. Torgini, $16. Mustang Valley, 20. Exalida, 21. Miravision, 26. Purple Pay, 26. Pride of Jenny, Larkspur Run, 40s. R King, Times Square, $41. Ball Profits. They're all sort of out the gate. Let's have a look at a couple of replays. We're going to do 3 here. Surround Stakes. This is Walty's Winks, Sunshine in Paris, Pokes Head Through. Ruthless
Gone for a
Dame.
spell. Very, very smart.
Ruthless Dame here, 3 wide punching. Thought it was a good run. Had the temerity, as DK would say, to still be there at the end. You got Rosita back there in the white sleeves with Fireburn. You got Revolutionary Mist doing a left-hand turn there. So she's
Coming
still
through the
hit
middle.
line
Yep.
okay. So got your first up.
That's Wolverine, isn't it? You got all sorts of horses.
Yeah,
here
it's just all these horses. You got She's a Belter flashing late down the outside. Here's Yearning out the back. Look at it in the Masara colours. Absolutely
Pink Cat
dead.
White hair pom pom is Hope in Your Heart as well. Larkspur Run's been in the 1-1, popping out now and floating up like the winner, like it always does.
How did Tim get this horse to win? It just looked dead gone. It travelled.
That's the best
dead
thing
gone.
about this horse. It never travels, but it never doesn't hit the line.
Wow.
I don't think Yearning would have beat it with a bat, to be fair.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, like I'm really sure. Wouldn't have beaten it with
Mustang
a
Valley
bat.
was held up back along the fence there. And this is Anna Visto making it all out in front. You got Exalida tailed off way back. And it hit the line nice.
Which one's it?
Coming to the frame now. Picture now. Zooming down the outside. Off and gone.
Also with Exalida, I thought this was the best I'd probably seen her parade that day. So if she holds that, she's probably going to run a good race. And I thought Anna Visto had a bit of improvement to come. So tough race to really work out what you want to do with all of them, isn't there? There's a bit of 3-year-old form. Anna Visto's flying. I think Nash is a good rider for her, but she's had a few cracks in this sort of level, hasn't she?
What about if she sits outside lead? If Expat, which you would
Expat will
imagine
be
is
leading.
going to be
Kick
ridden for speed.
Yeah.
Can Anna Visto sit outside it, and how fast are they going to go? That's probably my biggest issue. If those two sort of, because they are the designated leaders, Pride of Jenny, I doubt fast enough. Gate 2 probably happy to take the sit behind Expat. If they sort of controlled it, potentially.
Well, there's a big chance that they're a touch of a query over a mile of 1,500, so they're going to try and put the
if
brakes
they
on.
control,
Yeah.
they're going to be in the finish. But if they declare each other on, it's a different race.
Yeah, I would say with Pride of Jenny and Torregine, like they were both slowly away last start. Their pattern in Melbourne is like Pride of Jenny, her best races are when she leads. So if she gets out of the barriers better, she's going to be right there. And Torregine's the same. Like they'll probably have her going further back on the Race in New South Wales map than probably what they should, I would think, because they look at the last start and think, oh, she took a sit there. But, you know, her early days, she was a real sort of fierce going on pacer, and you sort of saw that through last preparation as well. So I reckon they're pushing the agenda as well, which could set up for a very fast tempo.
And you got
she's half rogue, that Torgini. She's a pisser of horse.
Hinge time.
Doesn't
What
parade.
was this? Hinge Times Square. What else? Oh, Zigotcha's not in the race. Larkspur Run. A lot of horses that want to sort of settle in the first half as well. So you would, if you had to bet on the tempo, you would have to expect a well and truly above benchmark sort of tempo. I thought I'm happy to stick with Hope in Your Heart and Mustang Valley out of that race. I didn't like that race leading up, but I just think that they both ran well in that race, and I think they strong mile form. Mustang Valley's got the 2,000 metre form. Hope in Your Heart's just a real racehorse. Just a very open race, but I thought that I just kept coming back to them, just expecting a really strong tempo and just something's going to get over the top. Ruthless Dame's the query runner. It was definitely the run of the race in the surround, but is that form putrid or not? We'll find out on Saturday.
If she can run a mile, I think Ruthless Dame's the horse to beat.
I wouldn't be worried about it running a mile off that last run. It's just the depth of its that filly's form. I'm not really sure what it is. It could all measure up on Saturday, and you could get bloody 5 winners across Australia, and they've sort of all they've gone everywhere from that race. They've split. But what price are these horses?
I don't mind Tyler Schiller off, Dylan Gibbons on for a runner like this. She'll just get cuddle and then can just go bang.
$26 Mustang Valley. Oh, it's been backed into 17. So I thought its run was very good up the fence there the other day.
Yeah, I'm bored. I thought Mustang Valley was a good chance as well. Like, you look at her form overseas, she finished second to Le Creek. Le Creek started at what, $1.80 favourite in the Maya Classic.
How'd it go?
Didn't go too well, but
Rude.
I think it's just dropped off since then. But, you know, you can tie that sort of form in that. I think the New Zealand form's actually okay. Like, her Livermore Classic win was huge. And then you look at the run last start, she probably should have gone extremely close to winning. She drops in the weight, 55 kilos now. And she's probably one of the best suited if they go quick. I think that'll be her advantage because she can run 2,000. If it was wet, she'd be right in the game. But don't know where the rain's coming from. I haven't really looked, to be honest. But, if you got a soft track or something, she'd be a huge chance on that sort of condition.
And yearning? No, not good enough.
Just, nah.
When's her last win? Like, she doesn't win yearning. Like, that's the problem with her. She's always unlucky, flashing light run. Like, I think Mustang Valley's a better horse at their best. Like, yearning's just she's just always a little bit of a flashing light, but never getting the job done. Just a bridesmaid yearning.
She's a belter. Was a bit of a looks like it's ready to go. It wouldn't surprise if Willie just sort of lobbed 3 back the fence and
does a Willie.
Pinch, bang. It's got plenty of Willie about it. It could just poke its Willie straight through the middle.
I thought Mirror Vision's a good second up horse. That's when she's at her best. So I'd be looking for a bit of a spike from her.
And she has the draw to improve, even though she was pretty plain first up. But it wouldn't surprise you. It's a dead set. Jeez, you wouldn't want to have your, like if the easy race for you probably got down to 8 picks or something. Easy race.
I think Ruthless Dame will start favourite. The big boys will just smash it.
If it starts favourite.
What will you do for me?
No, I won't do anything. I'll just gap it until my arsehole bleeds because, again, 52.5 D Gibbons, it's just...
That's grouse. He's a good rider.
He's a good rider, but it's just insanity.
Hey?
It's insanity. Like the experience in these races, how many non-claiming apprentices win Group 1 races in non-claim? Like, it's just... It doesn't happen very often. It's a very rare thing and for a reason.
If you said, which is the apprentice most likely to come out and win a Group 1, well, surely Dylan Gibbons comes into the frame.
None of them do.
Oh, God,
if it has to be an apprentice, I don't know. He's not ridden in half of them. This is a race where you've got to ride the horse well. They've got to run mildly. It's tempo related. It's not a gimme race. It's not like they're going to bowl along on Anavisto out in front uncontested or something, which, you want a jockey in these races that's been around a long time and seen it all.
Yeah, we have it. So, lay.
And I am a dildo fan.
I know you are.
Big dildo man.
Hey? You'll end up with egg all over your face when Ruthless don't win. See, there's a little prop. Egg on face.
Won't be the first time.
If you like it, back it with confidence. Don't worry about Watts. This jockey, he goes
It can win. But how can it start favourite?
It will start favourite. It'll start favourite. Racingwatch.com.au for more of Johnny's stuff.
It's second favourite now. Well, you're going out on a limb.
Well, it's
going to firm one place in the market.
Well, you haven't even looked at the market and you did the race.
I don't look at markets. I just bet.
We need to move the show along. Racing Watch, Telegram or Discord, racingwatch.com.au. You get all of Johnny's...
insanity.
Exactly. There's plenty of it this week. Donny's best D-Paul last week. Fall for Sydney needs much further, but he's seen him well, Donny.
G'day, gents. Johnny's best. Won again last week. The best bet, D-Paul bolted in. Geez, it ran some unbelievable sections. Possibly heading to the Rawney, so keep an eye on that horse. I think it's a really, really good one. This week, it's not very good betting at Eagle Farm. All the actions at Flemington and Rosehill. Not much happening at Eagle Farm. I found a couple of bets, but not very keen, especially compared to the last couple of weeks. First one comes up in race 2 at Eagle Farm, number 9, Lovely Esteem, at about $2.50. I think it just brings a bit better form lines than the other favourite, the Red Kite. It comes out of a bit stronger races from the wide gate. It will roll forward. Sam call it aboard. I think it's an okay bet, and it's clearly favoured in my market. The other bet, race 8, number 14, Betcha the Crown. It's around $12. It was really good last start in the maiden race. We're in a really sharp time. It got dragged back from a wide gate. It was settled much closer here, around $12. It's an open race, but I think it's a fair chance. Not heaps keen. Rather be betting at the country and provincials this weekend. But the 2 bets this weekend and at Eagle Farm, race 2, number 9, Lady Esteem, and race 8, number 14, Betcha the Crown. Good luck.
Outstanding. It looks.
Have you tied him up?
What?
I'd rather bet at the provincials, but he's tip 2 in the city. What have you said? No more. Have
Yeah,
you
Little
cast
Birdie
him?
Syndicate
Yeah.
in there, mate. You're getting lots of bets, lots of tracks everywhere. We go everywhere for a winner. Towel, anywhere. Doesn't matter. Top Sports team. Race 6, number 4, Maraschino, $800 at $7. Not a bad bet, this. I thought Emissary was the horse to beat there, clearly, but he's on a Sydney
Is that the
Cup
horse
path.
that keep the WA thing?
Yep.
It won the
Yeah,
other day, first up off 100 days or something, and it was like
Yeah, that's him.
Is there a one missing?
What's that?
71.
Perth form.
800 at 71.
He beat Steinem, who
Who?
beat him Emissary first up. So his form ties in.
Gifted the
Jeez.
race last time.
Like, it was the worst race of all time, that thing it won the other day. Now it's got to travel. Oh, yeah. Anyway, good luck.
Flemington race 7, number 6, Bella Nipotina. Gosh, no, I think we've all said no.
No, couldn't have it.
No.
Race 8, number 11, Swiss Scandal, $850 at $460 against Donny's tip at odds there.
No idea.
No, not sure yet. Haven't got to that race. And then race 10, number 2, Claim the Crown, $500 at $11.
Went like an absolute busted the other day. So unless they know something I don't, it's win the start before was okay, every possible. It went horrendous the other day in a race where it was basically the worst run in the race. So I don't know. I doubt that it could improve enough.
Chad for Annabelle. Good combo, that one. All right, that's a wrap from us. Newmarket, we've got Black Opal on Sunday. We've got Adelaide Cup, Morphettville. So never been a better time to subscribe to one of our packages. Nico will be out there at Flemington. And
Nico's package is locked up, mate. He's not allowed to share it with anyone now that he's
in
now
relationship.
that he's, in a relationship.
No,
Exactly.
he's missed a bit rap. No Godolphin Duna
Yeah.
after last week.
She got lucky there.
Hey?
Yeah, the Saturn,
Imagine
the
coming
Saturn
home
Blues.
and you have to jump into the blue Godolphin Duna. Ugh.
What if Tom Kitten wins?
Ugh. What? Do you want to...
Double up, 16 to 1.
I'll take
Come
the
on,
bet again.
Come on.
I don't like lying $17 chances. Express to the poorhouse. That's
You can
not
have
my
$8 on it to win a doona.
Hey?
Just bet it back.
No, that's a baggy bet thing. I don't lay that sort of stuff.
Oh,
Good luck.